I'm Anna. I'm going to be walking you through a warm-up today. It'll be pretty simple, so you won't need any materials or anything with you. I would recommend having a water bottle around you just in case, but again, it's just a warm-up, so hopefully you'll be pretty good throughout it. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and jump into it. So at first, we're just going to get our hearts going and blood moving, so we're just going to start with some high knees. Awesome. Throughout all these exercises, try and keep an awareness of your core, just seeing how your posture is, because that can be a huge factor into seeing if you're actually warming up your body as opposed to just going through the motions. If you would like to, go ahead and add in your arms to get some more blood flowing. Awesome. If you would like a higher intensity, you can lift your legs higher, or you can go a bit faster. Okay, go ahead and keep that marching in the lower half, and go ahead and take your right arm out across your body. Make sure while we're doing this that we're not allowing our arm to rest on our elbow, the one that's coming and holding you across. You can have it either in front of or behind the elbow, but you don't want it on it. Okay, go ahead and switch, left arm across, right hand holding. Make sure we're keeping an awareness of that lower half, keep it moving, get that blood flowing. Awesome. Doing great. Okay, go ahead and let that drop. Shake it out a little bit and go ahead and take your arm behind your head. If you find that holding your elbow is uncomfortable, you can alternatively hold your hand and pull it across that way. If you're getting tired of this marching motion, you can also go to a side step instead. Doing great. Okay, go ahead and switch. While we're doing this, make sure that your back is staying nice and straight and you're not allowing your chin to drop down to your chest. Try and keep that back as straight as possible. Awesome. Doing great. Okay, go ahead, drop and stop either your marching or your side-to-side movement. Now we're going to be doing some leg swings, but instead of going front and back, we're going to be taking our leg out to the right and then across the body to the left. This is going to be a fluid motion. If you feel that this is too high of an intensity, you can always take a second and tap it on the floor before you move your leg across your middle. Awesome. Again, while we're doing this, have an awareness of your posture. Make sure you're trying to stay as straight as possible. And we're not locking out our knees. Okay, go ahead and switch to your other leg. Doing great. Again, if you need to or you feel unbalanced while you're going across, you can always take a second to tap your leg instead of going through in a fluid arc. Make sure as we're going through these as well that you're not going past discomfort. Since we are stretching, we don't want to do any harm to ourselves. So make sure you're listening to your body, and if something hurts, you need to stop. Okay, go ahead and stop. From here, we're going to do some kickbacks. So just go ahead and kick your leg back and try and bring it up to your glutes. If you find that you can't reach your glutes, that's totally fine. Just try once again within that comfortable range of motion that you're getting a nice stretch in the fronts of your legs. Awesome. Again, if you would like a higher intensity, you can either go faster with your kicks or you can slow it down and have a controlled movement as you move your leg down. Awesome. Go ahead and stop. From here, we're going to take our right leg out in front of us, put a slight bend in it and send our left leg back. We're going to then open up our shoulders from here and go into a warrior two position. I find that it's more comfortable for me that instead of having your toes be straight forward, you allow your back toe to come out at a 45-degree angle. That just helps me be in a more secure base. Okay, we're going to come back to a warrior one pose. So bring your arms together and go ahead and send them up over your head. Awesome. If you like a little bit more of a stretch, you can go into a reverse warrior. So you'll take your left arm, drop it back to your left leg, and allow your right arm to come up over your head, allowing more of a curvature in your back. Make sure we're breathing here, once again being aware of the core. Go ahead and come up out of that. And now we're going to switch legs and do it on our left leg out front, right leg back. So back into that warrior two position. If you want a bit more of a stretch in your hips, you can also kick that back leg further back and sink lower into this pose. Awesome. Go ahead, bring your arms together, send them up over your head, allowing a nice curvature in the back. If you want more of a stretch, go ahead and drop into that reverse warrior. Awesome. Take a few more breaths here, and then go ahead and release. Okay, from here we're going to go down onto the mat. Our first position on the mat is going to be cat-cow. So go ahead and allow your shoulder or your hands to come a nice shoulder distance away on the mat, as well as your knees in the same position. As you drop your belly, go ahead and inhale and tilt your head up, and then allow your back to arc. Exhale and drop the head. Do a few cycles of these, focusing on the breath as well as the back. Make sure you're going at your own pace in these, and if you need to spend more time in one position rather than the other, go ahead and allow yourself to do that. Awesome. Okay, from here, we're going to curl our toes underneath us, and we're going to go ahead and send our sits bones up and back, going into downward facing dog. For more of a stretch, you can walk your feet towards your hands and send your heels down to the ground. Awesome. Make sure we're taking a couple of breaths here, allowing the body to relax. Okay, go ahead and take about an inch of a step back and then transfer into seal. Awesome. If you find that this isn't comfortable for you, you can always do a slight bend in your elbows to decline the amount of bend in your back. Okay. Go ahead and push back into that tabletop position and allow your legs to come through. We're going to do a one-legged toe touch, so make sure I like to start with my right leg, and I'll bring my left leg in and just go ahead and reach for your toes. If you find that you can't reach your toes, that's totally fine. Just allow yourself to breathe into it and see if you can sink lower with every breath. You're doing great. Okay, go ahead and switch legs. I always feel this one in the back of my legs as well as my lower back. You're going to feel it in different places depending on what your days look like. I find that when I've been sitting a lot, I'll feel it a lot more in my lower back. And if I've been sitting and standing a lot, then I will feel it a lot more in my hips. Awesome. Go ahead and come up out of that. Go ahead and leave one of your legs forward. Our next stretch that we're going to do is going to be cross the body hug. So allow your right leg to come over your left leg and hug that to your body. Allowing a good stretch of your abductors. Awesome. Go ahead, release your leg, and do the same thing with your other one. Make sure again while we're doing this, we're focusing on the breath. I find that I am a lot more flexible and allow myself to stretch further when I'm focusing on my breath because it kind of allows my muscles to relax. Awesome. Okay, the next stretch we're going to do, we're going to have a bend in our left knee and we're going to take our right leg up and across it. It should feel like a very similar stretch to the one that we just did, but I find that this one stretches more of my glutes as well as my hip flexors. Awesome. You're doing great. Go ahead, switch legs. Okay. Go ahead and from here we're going to drop down onto our backs and do some really quick core stretches. So the first one we're going to do is penguin. So go ahead and sit on your back with your legs bent and just allow your hands to come towards your ankles. This should be a nice warm up for your obliques. Doing great. Again, if you would like a higher intensity for this, I find that going slower actually is more intense than trying to do a quick movement. Okay. Go ahead and allow your head to come down and your shoulders to rest on the mat. We're going to do some quick crunches real quick. So lace your fingers behind your head and go ahead and just allow your body to come up and do a crunch position. Awesome. You're doing great. Okay. Great job. We're going to go ahead and come up out of that and come up onto our feet. As we come up, instead of rising all the way up to the top, I would like you to stop and allow your back to just have a straight kind of tabletop position and bring your arms to your legs. Again, don't lock out your knees in this position because that could be very dangerous, but just allow a good stretch in your lower back. Take a couple of cycles of breaths here. And then when you're ready, go ahead, bring your arms together, and you're going to come into mountain pose. So make sure you have a good base in your feet and allow your shoulders to drop down away from your ears and see if you can bring those shoulder blades together. From here, allow your hands to come apart and you're going to go into a touchdown sort pose. Bring your shoulder blades together and allow your chest to stretch. Awesome, you're doing great. Make sure we're breathing. Okay, go ahead and drop. Our next exercise or stretch will be a one-legged stand. We'll be holding this for 30 seconds. If you would like a higher intensity, go ahead and allow your leg that is not currently on the mat to swing and try and keep your balance while you're doing that. I find it easier to have my arms out like this. However, some people find it easier to rest your hands on your hips. Awesome. Doing great. You're halfway there. Make sure we're breathing. Okay, and you're at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, shake it out, and jump into that next leg. Same thing, if it helps you to have your hands on your hips, go ahead and do that. If you would like to have your hands out by your sides, go ahead and do that. And if you would like a higher intensity, allow that leg to swing. You're doing great. Make sure we're breathing. Make sure we're paying attention to that core. You're halfway there. Okay. And we're at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, the last exercise that we're going to be doing is some jumping jacks. And again, we'll be doing 30 seconds of these. Ready, set, and go. You can try a couple of different variations of jumping jacks. You can try and see if you can bring your thumbs together, or if you would like a greater stretch in your arms, allow the backs of your hands to come together instead. Awesome. And we're at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that is your warm-up. Thanks for joining me. Have a good day.